Sharon Stone is a name that needs no introduction. With an IQ of 154, she's considered one of the most intelligent actresses to ever step into Hollywood. But the untold story of her life is far darker and more mysterious than most people realize. From being abused by her grandfather to surviving a near-fatal brain hemorrhage with only a 1% chance of recovery, her journey is both heartbreaking and inspiring. What could drive such a brilliant and talented woman into those unimaginable circumstances? In this video, we'll uncover the lesser-known truths about Sharon Stone's extraordinary life. Sharon Stone was born in Meadville, Pennsylvania, on March 10, 1958, into a humble working-class family. On the surface, they seemed to embody the American dream: a factory worker father, an accountant mother, and 3 bright, lively children. But behind that front door lay the darkness of a horrifying secret. Sharon's grandfather had abused both her and her younger sister, Kelly, when they were just little girls. The trauma carved itself deeply into Sharon's mind, leaving a scar that would never truly heal. She grew up torn between 2 worlds. On one side, the bright, smiling honors student who stood out at school. On the other, a lonely girl battling an eating disorder and self-destructive habits, as a way to escape a haunting sense of guilt she couldn't name. It wasn't until years later, during intensive therapy, that Sharon finally found the courage to face those buried memories. She told The New Yorker, "I began to understand that the abuse started when I was very young. I just screamed, 'Who could do that?' Because my mind couldn't accept that anyone would harm a child like that." But fate wasn't done with her yet. As a child, Sharon also witnessed her Uncle Gene's descent into mental illness. He once threatened to shoot himself right in front of her, and one day he actually did. He died in a pool of blood at the family's doorstep. That was the first time Sharon understood what true helplessness felt like, wanting to save someone you love, but being utterly powerless to stop their pain. That moment planted in her a lifelong fear and fascination with death, a shadow that would follow her for years to come.
Mwah. Hey, Sammy.
Yeah, man.
Boy, look at this place, huh? Crap.
At the age of 12, Sharon was struck by lightning while standing near her family's well. The electrical current shot through her body, throwing her several feet away and stopping her heart for a brief moment. Miraculously, she survived, but it took months for her to recover. The story of the little girl struck by lightning but survived made local headlines, turning her into a small-town sensation in Pennsylvania. Many believed that incident changed her forever, as if that bolt of energy had awakened something extraordinary inside her. But misfortune wasn't done testing her. During a horseback ride, Sharon was thrown violently to the ground, suffering a serious neck injury. She had to wear a brace for a long time and would endure chronic pain for years. "My neck was never the same again," she once said. Yet instead of surrendering, Sharon chose to confront the pain head-on. She learned to transform physical suffering into mental strength, and that resilience became the foundation of her later persona, an aura of proud, unbreakable beauty that defined her on screen. After graduating high school, Sharon earned a writing scholarship to the University of Pennsylvania. She loved literature and the arts, but deep down, she knew the spotlight was where she truly belonged. From an early age, Sharon would put on small plays in her family's garage, writing, directing, and starring in them herself. She believed that only by becoming someone else could she momentarily escape herself. After leaving college, Sharon decided to chase her dream of acting at all costs. She entered beauty pageants and used her modest winnings to pay for acting lessons. In 1977, she moved to New York City, a noisy, unfamiliar world bursting with possibility. There, she was discovered by the Ford Modeling Agency, one of the most powerful modeling firms in the world. It didn't take long before her sharp features, piercing eyes, and cool, enigmatic demeanor appeared in major advertising campaigns, including the iconic Charlie perfume line. With talent, charisma, and relentless determination, Sharon slowly carved her place among the rising stars of Hollywood.
You want to tell me about Professor Goldstein?
In 1980, a small, unexpected opportunity opened the door to destiny. Woody Allen cast Sharon Stone as a quiet waitress in Stardust Memories. It was a seemingly insignificant role, but under those studio lights, her face was illuminated before the cinematic world for the very first time. After that film, Hollywood was no longer silent. The phone began to ring, casting calls arrived, scripts landed on her doorstep, all signs that a new star was quietly rising. 12 years later, in 1992, a storm named Basic Instinct swept through Hollywood. Sharon transformed into Catherine Trammell, a bisexual novelist who was seductive, ruthless, and utterly powerful. Every movement, every glance, and that infamous leg-crossing scene left audiences worldwide breathless. The film didn't just redefine what it meant to be a leading lady in Hollywood, it split public opinion down the middle. The LGBTQ+ community expressed outrage, accusing the film of fueling the stereotype that bisexuals are dangerous or psychotic. Yet few knew that Catherine's character was inspired by a real person, a go-go dancer who once pointed a gun at screenwriter Joe Esterhazy and asked, "Give me one good reason why I shouldn't pull the trigger." That chilling encounter would later become one of the most iconic and unsettling moments ever captured on film. Behind Catherine's proud and icy facade was a trembling Sharon Stone. She later revealed that during the infamous ice pick murder scenes, the fear and psychological pressure nearly suffocated her. She often invited her best friend to the set just to tell her jokes, anything to stop herself from breaking down. The production team even kept oxygen tanks and medical staff on standby, afraid she might have a panic attack mid-scene. But when Basic Instinct premiered, every ounce of exhaustion was repaid. Sharon Stone became a global sensation, earning a Golden Globe nomination and being crowned the sex symbol of the 1990s. People magazine listed her among the 50 most beautiful people in the world. 3 years later, she climbed even higher. Casino, 1995, directed by Martin Scorsese, was a gangster masterpiece. But it was Sharon, as Ginger, the alluring mistress of a mafia boss, who became the soul of the film. Between giants like Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, she shone with brilliance and steel. One critic wrote, "Sharon Stone doesn't just act, she dominates every frame." Her performance earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, proving that Sharon wasn't just beautiful, she was dangerous, magnetic, and profoundly powerful. Then, just when her fame seemed untouchable, fate cruelly pulled the curtain toward tragedy. In 2001, while on a business trip to Chicago, Sharon suddenly collapsed. She thought it was just the flu, but it turned out to be a massive stroke that caused a brain hemorrhage. Doctors told her she had only a 1% chance of survival. Some hospital staff even suspected she was acting, unable to believe that someone so fit and vibrant could be dying before their eyes. She woke up in a white hospital room, her head bandaged, her memory shattered, feeling as though her entire life had been stolen. "No one understands how devastating a stroke is for a woman," she later said. "It took me 7 years to become myself again." 7 long years, filled with loneliness, physical therapy, and endless sleepless nights. When she finally stood back up, she realized that the most precious thing in life wasn't fame. It was simply being alive. But even after her body healed, her spirit was thrown into another storm. A brutal custody battle for her son Rowan, with her ex-husband Phil Bronstein. The American press called it Sharon's second wound. Bronstein accused her of overreacting to their son's medical issues, and even claimed she once suggested Botox injections in the boy's feet to reduce sweating, something the court cited as evidence that she was unfit for motherhood. The ruling stripped Sharon of custody, breaking her completely. In a later interview, she wept, saying, "I couldn't bear losing my child. I just lay there and cried all day." The woman who once made the world hold its breath with a single leg crossing was now curled up on her bed, praying for a miracle. And that miracle came. In 2011, after a decade of fighting, Sharon regained custody of Rowan. She called it the greatest victory of her life. Not the Golden Globe, not the Oscar, but the sound of her child's laughter echoing through their home. Despite enduring unimaginable loss and hardship, Sharon Stone never gave up on her dreams. After the stroke and the custody battle, she returned to acting with quiet determination, appearing in dozens of films and television series, proving that even shattered, she could rise again, stronger than ever. In 2018, Sharon made a remarkable comeback to the small screen with Mosaic, directed by Steven Soderbergh for HBO, in which she played a children's book author who is mysteriously murdered. Her performance received widespread acclaim from both critics and audiences. Maureen Ryan of Variety praised her, saying, "She brings such depth and magnetism to the role that you simply can't look away." But Sharon didn't stop there. She went on to deliver another unforgettable performance in Ratched, Netflix, 2020. A dark psychological series filled with tension and emotion. In it, she portrayed a wealthy heiress haunted by the agony of seeing her son's face destroyed by the hands of a doctor. Sharon described the character as mad, fierce, but profoundly human. A mother who loves her child with everything she has, even when that love is distorted and tragic. That deep empathy made her character transcend the line between good and evil, leaving a lasting impression on viewers around the world. Ratched became a global hit, reaffirming Sharon Stone's status as an eternal star. A woman who had survived a stroke, divorce, and the cruel ageism of Hollywood. After more than 30 years in the industry, Sharon is no longer just a Golden Globe-winning actress. She is a symbol of resilience and rebirth. Every role, every comeback, is her declaration that time may change everything, but true strength and spirit never fade.